And it's about the indigenous peoples in Brazil. And in this case, it's about the Xukuru. And the Xukuru were some of the first people to be contacted by early colonists in the 1500s. Indigenous peoples were seen as an imposition onto in the minds of the conquistadores that wanted very much to expand their territories and to do what they thought was improving the world. And in doing so, they had to get rid of the indigenous peoples. They had to either assimilate them or get rid of them. And that's the case in Brazil. Lived for hundreds of years, assimilating and also trying to maintain their culture. And their language eventually died. They intermarried with a variety of other peoples, and in Brazil this essentially meant that the Xukuru were no longer Indian. And it wasn't until after the end of the military dictatorship in 1980s that Xukuru, along with other indigenous leaders, began to organize so that they could create a new constitution, a new chapter in the Constitution of Brazil that would give indigenous peoples the right to get their lands back. And they eventually were able to get that chapter written, and it was successfully approved. In the 1980s, the Xukuru began the fight to get their land back. It wasn't until around 2001, after close to 20 years and many retomadas, that's retaking of the lands, demonstrations, staying on the lands, working very hard, and losing 6 people to assassinations, that they finally got their lands back. And of course they got only a small portion of their land, because their land was gigantic, and their land was only given back to them partially. But of course, you know, the story has a tremendous drama, and that is because the fazendeiros living in this area also had lived there for hundreds of years since colonization, and then they had to give up what they felt was their land, and their families had been living there for hundreds of years. And then you bring in the political drama and the financial and resource dramas, the economics that play into this story as well. So what happened with the Xukuru is that now they have their lands. They've lost 6 people, indigenous peoples, including a lawyer who was working for them, to assassinations. And then the court systems have done what they do all over the world too, is they criminalize the indigenous peoples. And what you can do is stop their progress, stop their growth, stop the ways in which they can try and get their lands back by keeping them involved. And right now, in 2012, Cacique Marco Xukuru has been sentenced to 10 years and 4 months in prison when there was an assassination attempt on his life. He happened to survive, escape. 2 young men died as they tried to protect him. And then after these 2 young men died, the Cacique Marco Xukuru fled into the countryside, was badly injured by barbed wire. He had his small cousin with him who was around 12 years old. He was found, taken to a hospital, treated, sedated, and during this period of time that he was in the hospital, word spread that there was an attempt on his life, and there's over 10,000 Xukuru living on their lands now. But several thousand came together and created a march and a protest in order to run out of the area the people that they felt were responsible for trying to kill their Why chief. Am I doing these videos? It's to ask you to please support the Xukuru, to make your own videos, to sign petitions that are online, to use your own cell phones to make videos and to post your thoughts online, to send information to the tribunals. I have a Facebook page. It's Marcia Mikulak, M-I-K-U-L-A-K. You can find all the information you need about the Xukuru and how you can help as well. Thank you.